A-10 Warthog, a legendary Cold War brawler, is not fighting overseas. It's fighting the 1.7 trillion fighter's best friend, the Pentagon. For over a decade, the U.S. Air Force has relentlessly pushed to retire this essential aircraft, arguing it's too vulnerable to justify its budget. But ask the troops on the ground, and they'll tell you the titanium-armored, virtually unkillable Warthog is the only plane that consistently saves lives. This isn't just a budget cut. It's a brutal financial betrayal where the Pentagon wants to kill the plane that's simply too effective and too inexpensive. We'll show you the $25,000 per shot drone killer that's saving the U.S. military billions. The question is the latest attempt to retire this legend an act of strategic folly? Or is it a calculated move to protect a corrupt, multi-billion-dollar budget? The A-10 was born from a challenge in the late 1960s, known as the AX program. While the U.S. Air Force was dreaming of supersonic, high-tech fighters, the engineers at Fairchild Republic insisted the Army needed something else entirely: a slow, survivable, and inexpensive attack aircraft for direct infantry support. The concept was simple: an aircraft capable of hovering over the battlefield, targeting the enemy and their equipment with minimal risk to the pilot, even if that meant sacrificing speed. This is how one of the strangest but at the same time most effective aircraft in aviation history appeared. The pilot's safety was the core design principle. The pilot isn't just sitting in a cockpit. They are placed in a cockpit wrapped entirely by a titanium bathtub. This armor consists of titanium plates ranging from half an inch to over 1.5 inches thick. This armor is capable of withstanding a direct hit from a 23mm armor-piercing shell, and even indirect hits from 57mm shell fragments. The armor that wraps the cockpit and parts of the flight control systems alone weighs over 1,200 pounds, or about 5% of the Warthog's empty weight. Additionally, all surfaces of this titanium shell are covered with a multi-layered nylon anti-splinter screen to protect against shell fragments. The genius of the Warthog lies not just in its armor, but in its redundant, almost stubborn systems. Engine defiance. The two high-bypass General Electric turbofan engines are high-mounted and spaced far apart on the fuselage. This unusual layout protects them from ground debris and foreign objects when operating from field airfields. Furthermore, the engines on top are ideally positioned to direct their exhaust gases over the tail surfaces, thereby protecting the Warthog from detection by enemy infrared homing surface-to-air missiles. Self-sealing fuel. All 4 fuel tanks are located near the center of the aircraft and separated from the fuselage. If damaged, the Warthog's fuel lines are designed to simply seal themselves. If the damage exceeds the tank's self-sealing capabilities, check valves prevent fuel from entering the damaged tank, and mesh polyurethane foam lies inside the tanks to limit fuel spills. Redundancy is king. The A-10 features redundant hydraulic flight systems that are backed up by manual systems. The plane is designed to fly with just one surviving engine, only half a tail, one elevator, and only half a wing. This is the very definition of a Terminator, built to absorb punishment and keep flying. The A-10's design philosophy, built to be broken yet fly, is not abstract. It's a terrifying reality proven in combat. In the spring of 2003, during the invasion of Iraq, Captain Kim Casey Campbell put this defiance to the ultimate test. While flying over Baghdad, her A-10 was severely damaged by enemy anti-aircraft fire, causing its hydraulics to fail. In that moment, a fighter pilot's worst nightmare became a testament to superior engineering. Kim quickly recovered, placing the aircraft using the manual thruster, and successfully flew the more than 1-hour journey back to Al Jaber Air Base. She flew a crippled, bleeding warplane for over 60 minutes, a testament to the fact that few aircraft can match the Warthog when it comes to pilot safety. The legend continued decades later. Half a world away in Afghanistan, in 2018, a group of U.S. Special Forces conducting a raid found themselves surrounded and under intense fire from Taliban insurgents. An A-10, call sign Hog 11, responded to their distress call. Despite heavy anti-Air Force fire which damaged the A-10, the pilot continued to fly, making multiple gun and bombing runs until the Special Forces team was able to break contact and evacuate their wounded. The damaged A-10 limped back to base where ground crews counted over a dozen holes from enemy fire. The aircraft was repaired and returned to service within 24 hours. This isn't just a plane. It is a flying symbol of American air power. It's the ugly angel on the shoulder of every young American warrior. The A-10 Thunderbolt II is the plane built to bring our boys home safe. The second calling card of the A-10, and perhaps the most monstrous, is its cannon.
Tell me a sound that's better than this.
The GAU-8 Avenger is a hydraulically powered 7-barrel rotary cannon that boasts exceptional firepower, firing at 3,900 rounds per minute. The gun was such an integral and impressive part of the attack aircraft that the engineers quickly realized the airframe was effectively designed around the gun. The gun alone weighed about 16% of the Warthog's unladen weight. This reliance was comical at times. It reached the point where ground crews needed to install a jack every time the gun had to be removed for inspection, just so the A-10 wouldn't simply tip over backwards. However, this unparalleled firepower came with nearly a decade of catastrophic engineering problems. The intense heat and friction generated by firing caused gun mount components to stick together. But the two most critical side effects almost killed the Warthog before it started. 1. Pilot blindness. The muzzle flash from the cannon's discharge blinded the pilot, a fatal blow to an aircraft designed for low-level ground-bound flight. Prolonged cannon fire also left a dark, sooty coating on the forward fuselage, including the windshield, which did not improve visibility. 2. Engine choking. When the gun was fired, gases tended to rise up the aircraft's wings, entering the high-mounted turbofan engines, threatening to choke them. Specialists were able to solve all these problems, but the development of potential solutions took about 10 years. The ingenuity was simple yet costly. Engine safety. The engineers designed it so that when the pilot pulled the trigger, the ignition system continuously activated the engine, ensuring that even if it suddenly stalled from the fumes, it would restart immediately. Visibility. They also added a windshield washer system. This solution allowed the Warthog to tirelessly destroy all living things on Earth with its cannon, having successfully cured itself of its expensive childhood diseases. Despite the Warthog's legendary track record, the Pentagon has launched at least 9 major attempts between 2008 and 2025 to retire the fleet, viewing it as an outdated obstacle in the path of their multi-trillion-dollar future. The Air Force's goal is simple: reallocate the A-10's budget, which costs roughly $20.9 billion to fully replace, toward the sleek, stealthy, and ever-expensive $1.7 trillion F-35 Lightning II program. This is where the debate transitions from obsolescence to financial betrayal. The F-35, while a high-speed stealthy marvel, was designed primarily as a multi-role fighter and data node, not a dedicated close air support (CAS) platform. Official comparative tests, which the Air Force fought to keep secret, revealed massive shortcomings in the F-35's ability to support troops engaged in combat. Where the F-35 relies on its stealth and advanced sensors to hit targets from high standoff distances, it is simply unable to perform the core mission: intimate, low altitude, and sustained fire support. The physical differences are damning. The Warthog's gun system carries a stunning 1,350 rounds of powerful 30mm ammunition for sustained strafing runs. In contrast, the F-35's internal 25mm cannon is limited to a mere 181 rounds, forcing it to break contact almost immediately. More critically, the A-10's titanium bathtub armor is designed to withstand multiple hits and keep the pilot alive, a capability the stealth-focused F-35 completely lacks. The war is over, but the Warthog won. It defeated the GAU-8 flaws, survived 9 retirement attempts, and now, with its new low-cost missile upgrades, it's the most cost-effective $25,000 per shot drone killer in the entire U.S. inventory. The verdict is clear. The A-10 is not the plane they wanted, but the plane we absolutely need. If you want the A-10 to win the fight against the Pentagon budget, jump into the comments below. Hit like, subscribe to Front Cost for more unbudgeted military secrets, and ring that bell.